If you want to actually scale your agency and your business this year, I highly recommend watching this video. I'm going to go through how to actually build a proper project management and just a system where you can track clients, financials, everything in one place. Because as you know, the things you don't track are the things you won't improve. So in short, why should you even listen to me? Well, I'm the founder of FlowClick. I build operation systems and just systems for agencies and have built for over 50 now. And basically, I've seen everything from 2, 3 employee people agencies to 70, 60, 50, 40, or 30 employee agencies. So I've seen all ranges and I've seen the systems they have used to succeed at their levels. So in short, I recommend a platform called ClickUp. ClickUp is like Notion, it's like Monday.com, it's like Asana, but I think it's the better one, mainly because it's so customizable. And if you want a powerhouse in today's day and age, I think it's the best platform because you can customize it to however you want. Completely custom to your own needs, and that's the best part. So I recommend creating a space in ClickUp. That's the first part. Generally speaking, I like to just call it, let's call it main workspace, as a main workspace. You can add your logo as well. I'm just going to add, is there any, let's just do a smiley for fun. I don't like the smiley. So you can add, and you can add your logo. I'm just going to do it so simple like this. Let's just pick this. Continue, create space. And the hierarchy of ClickUp, for you to understand, there are 4 steps, okay? The first step, that's space. That's the highest part. Space is what we just created. This is a space. The second part are folders. Folders are a folder within a workspace. Third part is list. List is what we see currently. We're currently in a list. The fourth part is a task, right? So we have a task. Fifth part and the last part are basically subtasks, which are tasks beneath tasks. So for this to make sense, I'm going to create a new folder called CRM for clients. So we track all the clients. You see, we have a folder, step number 2, step number 3, lists. And within that list, I'm just going to call this clients. And within clients, we have the clients. The first client I'm going to name is my own business, FlowClick, right? So we're going to have one place to track clients, one place to track the projects, one place to track the financials, and then one place if you want to track everything else, like a MISC and like content, folders, drives, whatever else you have. So the reason I pick ClickUp specifically is because you can have everything in one place at one time, very easily accessible. And that's the main part. It's very easy to go into one place and have all your financial data, all your client data, all your project data, all your retainer payments, everything in one place. And I think it's like magic technically, okay? So I want to have one place for clients, one place for the, I like to have leads as well. But in this case, we're going to move the leads for some other reasons. And I'm going to have clients and then deals and sales and deals, right? And this will be quite a comprehensive tutorial. So if you don't have the time to watch it, then don't grow your business and don't scale. But if you want to grow your business and scale, watch the video. So we're going to have deals, money symbol maybe, right? Then we're going to remove, we'll create a new space called marketing and let's say outreach or marketing workspace. And then we can have like a chart, maybe something similar to those lines here. Chart, let's just put this. And in the marketing space, we have everything for marketing specifically. Okay. So in here, we call it also pipeline, right? We have the pipeline in here. And we call this list leads, so like potential prospects. Then I can change this to a person, right? Very straightforward. Then we can have some other folders called content, if you do content, and one for just outreach, just so you can get like a feeling of it, maybe ads and so on. Let's keep it simple, right? So you can both and all understand it here. Those are the 3 parts. Then I want to have one for project management, one for internal operations, right? And so on. That's the main structure I'm going to run with. I'm going to have one, and of course I want to have another pipeline, which technically we can just run through here, which is maybe a bit... I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to probably just create this list called financial. So like all kinds of data I have about finance, basically. Then once that has been done, we in here, let's say, put a something money again, financial sales and so on. Maybe we can even do an outreach or like phone. Is there a phone like this? I'm not sure if I like that emoji. Let's just do this. Okay, so we have these folders. We're going to track everything, and ideally we have your entire business inside of these folders. And this is how I currently track, right? I have everything in my company. I have my main FlowClick, and in here I have everything. And I have marketing, and then I have everything in here as well for fun, right? So I have like all of this thing, hiring, discovery, business notes, competitor analysis, documents, income breakdown, project management, CRM, column copywriting, and so on. So in clients, I want to track all clients. I think that's quite self-explained. I can remove this. I can remove this. I can remove this. I want to have different stages. So like clients won't have to do in progress or complete. They will have active client, or just active. It's probably enough for it to understand here. I'm going to have one for onboarding. I'm going to have one for completed, or like churned, and offboarded. Sometimes you do one-off projects and you don't see them again. Completely fine. So I put this client either in active, in churned, in offboarded, and those are the 4, right? Active client. A lot of people have emails to the person, contact email. And I'm going to have the contact email as well, maxi@flowclick.com. I'm going to have the name of the contact person, which I think is important. My full name is this, right? Then my more points, which I recommend having. I like to have tiers. Let's just do a drop down. So packages, I know that a lot of agencies have packages. So tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, just to keep it simple, right? Make this blue, more blue, and even more blue, right? Like this. So we have different tiers. Then we can add the website of the client. I'm just going to show you, I have done this before. Website URL, where my website is flowclick.com. Very straightforward. I'm going to have phone number. Going to maybe keep out, if I want, I can add phone number, but let's keep out that for now. We have website URL, client name, contact name, and package. Right, very straightforward. And then some people have services. I'm going to use a label for this. So services, PPC, Google Ads. You can have SEO, websites, meta ads, and so on, right? And you can pick the right ones. They have websites and they have SEO, right? Or like meta ads, and let's say SEO, they have websites and they have PPCs. When I wrote Google Ads and PPCs, I was meant to say Snap Set ads. And like, there are so many things you can do here. I think you get the point. In this list, we have all clients. Next thing is sales and deals. Sales and deals is basically payments, okay? So we're going to have not paid, partial payment, full payment received, or retainer client churned. Like they stopped paying, disappeared, or they were unhappy, or and so on, right? So in here, I like to have it the types of deals that you do. Same thing, you can remove these fields. The thing is, I want to connect this. I'm going to say flow click, ClickUp, agency, or flow click, full agency build out, right? I have paid partial payment, right? I think I can make that yellow. I think that would be the better option here. I make this yellow. Partial payment completed. And for me, the most important are dates, right? So date closed and due date, right? Well, I closed them. For some reason, it's okay. It's when I close the date. Close date. Last week. Due date. 2 weeks. Let's say. Payment. I have 2 tiers. I have dollars. Money. Payment received. Payment due. Or not received, right? So I might have received 3.1k. Have not received 3.1k. If I run like a 50% upfront, 50% once paid. And I want to connect this to the clients. I'm going to use a thing in ClickUp called relationships. I'm going to select the specific list I'm building in, which is this his and deals. And in here, I'm going to write deals. I'm going to connect the task called ClickUp, flow click, full ClickUp build, or like full agency audit, right? And now this is connected together through a relationship task. I can do it the other way around. You can see flow click, access both ends, very simple to use. And later on the line, which might be the next episode, I can build out full dashboards for everything and so on, right? I'm going to write deals. Later on, I'm going to create dashboards for this as well. Let's use the bar chart. So the thing you can do here technically is that you can split this up as well to 2 different payments. You have like flow click, full agency build out upfront payment, and you just write like payment received 3.1k and then like full payment received, and then you have like this one and you have like not paid, right? Both work if you want to split them up. Depends on how you want to structure it. I think both are totally fine. They work the same way and tell the same thing. It just depends on how you prefer them, right? So very straightforward of having them like, hey, payment received, 0, payment due, 0 basically, right? And then you can basically just see through here. Financial data, I'm not going to cover too much on this. I think it's quite self-explained. You basically just add all your records around the financial stuff. So you have like a drop-down called, I like to have status for this. Or maybe not. Platform or like payment type. Let's say software, courses, meta ads, and so on, right? Maybe we can have like personal or like salaries. You can write whatever you want. Total up to you. Let's say taxes, right? And I write the type of payment. I usually just have like completed in here, or like to do, sent, paid. Very, very straightforward. I don't want to overcomplicate this. And then just pending. Pending, sent, the same thing basically, to be honest. Waiting for approval or something, right? Payment, I might have like ClickUp, business plan, payment type. Well, it's like a software, normal software, and the dollar amount is payment cost $19 or something, right? And that's it. You keep it quite straightforward. I also, of course, also add like date, when it happened. Yesterday, I got charged, and I have paid for it, right? And then you can just filter by payments. You have like make.com plan, paid, $9, software, let's say, and that has been last week, and that's waiting for approval, or like to do, right? So it's doing less than a week. So here you basically add dependent on what software you use, and kind of can automate some things here with APIs. Keep it simple. I just like to have all finances in one place. I think it's great. I think it's great to connect everything together. Project management, I think, is a great part to use for projects. I like to either do it in two ways. I either do it by what type of work you do. So this depends on what kind of agency you are. If you want it by work, so like, hey, we do have one for like creating content, having one on the list for website development. It depends on what clients you have and what kind of sort of scope you have. If you have 5 clients or like 10 clients, and you have this massive process, you're working with them for minimum 6 months to a year, you have this massive scope, bunch of work, and you have very custom work and not repeatable processes, I recommend creating folders for each client. So I would rather create folders. I will create another space in here and then call it clients. If you don't have massive projects which take 6 months, maybe take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I either just write like client to do. I put in the client to do. Very straightforward. This works if you're a solo entrepreneur, if you're 2 people, 3 people. Then it very much limits yourself of having just a list. But I think it's a great way to start by just having a list. I'm going to make this for like maybe 10 employees, 15 employees. And I personally like to do, so if you do, let's say, Meta ads, if you do Snapchat ads, if you do everything else, I like to just have it by department, okay? So I would do it like this. I would put this thing under here. I would put and remove, it depends on the scale, of course, on the team. That's the most custom thing. Put here, I would put organic content, right? I would put in something as well as paid content, and I would put in website development. Okay, I think that's quite straightforward. So you put the things which you need. I'm just going to put this here based on the different services. And sometimes you can just have like an active or like to do organic content list. Sometimes you can have like just one list, and sometimes you have multiple steps dependent on what company you are, how many people you are, what processes you have, and so on. I like to have a general rule of thumb that the less lists you have, the better. So if you can just minimize the amount of lists, that's the best case scenario. Pipeline. So I won't cover this more in part 2 of this build, but for now, just create a list. Pipeline, we have leads, right? We have content, we have outreach. Content, I would just write, let's say, 1 list for YouTube, 1 list for, let's say, Instagram. You post on those two platforms, right? Very straightforward here. I will just use a YouTube logo. I will use an Instagram logo. And I will just write your topics. Very, very straightforward to do here. I will write topics. I would put how to build a full ClickUp system, right? Assign myself. I put in notes, details around the video, details and notes. I'll put different stages to do, write script as gray. I would put record as blue, recorded, needs editing. I like to have like my rule of thumb here as well is to have status pieces in ClickUp which require action. Like we never want to have a stage which is like stagnant. There's no next call to action. So I don't want, like I just wrote, recorded. What's the next step? Needs editing. We know, right? So we want to write if the next steps of it like needs editing, needs to post. And then we can just put posted or idea scrapped if you're curious to see that as well. And that's it, right? How to build a ClickUp system. I put in the details, put due date tomorrow, priority, urgent, record the video I'm currently recording. Make sense? Then I would just put in the, let's say, needs to post. I would add something called a calendar and then call this content calendar. And then every time you go in, you can just go in here and see, okay, active content list. And then I'm going to duplicate this part 2. And part 2, I want this video to be recorded by Sunday maybe, right? Very, very straightforward. Then you have your own content calendar, when to record, when to go in, you just check and then you record, right? Very, very straightforward. Same thing with Instagram, same thing. Outreach, I think this is more up to your own imagination. If you're doing manual reach outs, I would put in some progress bars. I would make this super engaging. I'll probably remove this, not needed, not needed. I would use, it depends on how you structure this and how you do reach outs. But let's pretend I do to do, is there like a list thing? Let's pretend I do a bunch of manual outreach through ClickUp. Then or like through LinkedIn or something. Then I'm going to do to-do. I'll probably make this much more custom. For now, I'm just going to keep it basic just so you can understand the principles here, or like how to actually write it and do the content. So, generally speaking, I would probably put something like the, let's say, company website would be quite relevant maybe. I will put, I want to reach out to FlowClick. The company website is flowclick.com. I have done the outreach. I'm going to put the name, which is my own name. I'm going to put in the, let's say, link, and I'm going to use Instagram or LinkedIn direct message link. And then we can have different stages. We can have to do. We can have message sent. And now I'm saying like message sent, which isn't call to action, but that will make sense soon. Follow up. Responded. Positive response. Not interested. I'm gonna put in here. Not interested. Put this as red. Book a call requested. Right, that has been requested. What else have we done? We have request a call. We have booked a call. And actually, I'm just going to do it like this. Do not use. And because as soon as they're interested, I'm going to move them to my potential pipeline leads. Right? I think that's the best part. So as soon as I press positive response, I want this to move into the leads pipeline. And I'm going to do the same thing here, customize these. Drop down, lead source. I'm going to put LinkedIn. Because here all leads will be inbound. Inbound, let's just say YouTube. Let's say LinkedIn outreach, LinkedIn inbound, meta ads, and then cold email, let's say, right? So we will know as soon as I move this person from one stage, I can add, I think it was contact name, client name, and company website. Client name and company website. And as soon as that has been done, we go through this one. We move it through the leads. And it goes in here. It's to do. And it's here, right? Lead source. LinkedIn outreach, let's say. And of course, I'll change the colors and so on. That's maybe later down the line. I don't want to focus too much on those parts. But yeah, that's like the general structure here of the CRM. A major part will keep going on regarding the CRM part. Like you'll check all clients, all folders. I would add a Google Drive. So like their Google Drive folders. Same thing, I'm just going to write my website here. Click.com. I'm going to add even more stuff. I'm going to probably hide this or like customize it even more. I would add another URL. It's just text. Meeting recordings. I would put like, hey, fireflies.com. I would hide this. I can just go into here. I can see the meeting recordings, have super quick access as well, and go everything through there. So in the next part of this, I'm going to do even more customization, add even more stuff, and we'll make it even better with all the different parts. I wanted to build a foundation for you to understand kind of the core parts of how to structure things and how to add as much information as possible to the ClickUp. And if you want the exact system I just built, I'm going to have a full-on template, which you can just copy paste. It's going to be 2 of them because they're 2 workspaces. You can just copy paste them and you can just customize it however you want. You don't have to build anything up front. You don't have to build all these fields. You can just copy paste and just use my systems. And if you need help with ClickUp, if you need help with operations and agencies, you can just reach out. I'm happy to book a call and go through and give you an audit of your current operations and just give you my thoughts on how I would approach things. Either way, I'm very excited for part 2, and I'm going to go in more details on how to actually do this even more effectively and add all these specific details around the automations in a more streamlined way. I had another part on my YouTube regarding like, hey, building your ClickUp agency setup from scratch. Now it's more like a ClickUp full-on system because last time it wasn't that detailed and the whole part was just like very simple things, internal CRM and nothing that specific. Now I'm going in like full-on system, everything you need to actually build out your ClickUp. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Next part's going to be great. Even more details, even more stuff. And if you want the exact system, exact template, just copy it down below from the top link. Thank you wishing you a wonderful day, and let me know if you need any help with your ClickUp by emailing me or booking a call.